All right, so week 2 is over, so it's time to react to all these box scores. So starting with Thursday Night Football. Real quick, though, this week was crazy. A lot of injuries, but a lot of good football, too. A lot of really good games. I think week 3 will bring the same. Hopefully not the injuries, but hopefully a lot of good games. So starting with Thursday Night Football. Joe Burrow, he's awesome, all right? The Browns versus the Bengals was a Thursday night game. I thought the Browns were going to blow them out. The Bengals actually made it a pretty good game. They played better than I thought they would, but mostly because of Joe Burrow. He looked really good from the start. That dude is a dog, all right? But on the other side, the Browns look awesome too, getting things going on Baker, throwing some nice balls to Odell, Nick Chubb running well, Kareem Hunt running well towards the end of the game as well. The Browns, though, is clicking, and I think there was just one interception, so not too bad. But also, there's another turnover on the other side of the ball, which could have made this game be a lot closer than it was. Well, it was still pretty close, but it could have been closer. And that was a strip sack on Joe Burrow. There's really not, he really should have just tried to hold on to the ball there. I don't know if he really saw the defender coming, but that could have just changed the game. But a good game. Really impressed with Joe Burrow. Impressed with the Browns bouncing back. I think they should do better from here on out. It's going to be interesting to see both these teams here on out. Next, we're going to talk about the Washington Footballs versus the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, they got the win, but against a not so good team. But a good plus for the Cardinals is that Kyler Murray looked really awesome. He threw some pretty good balls, had some good decisions. He did have one pick. But like I said, threw some really nice passes. Not only that, you can tell that Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins are going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Last week they were, this week again. They're going to do really well. And they got a lot of years to play with each other. Next, on the other side of the ball, not too nice. Haskins, his pocket presence was pretty poor. The offense couldn't really get things going. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals were in on almost sacking him pretty much. Well, not every play, but a lot of the plays. Bright spot for the Redskins, though, is J.D. McKissick, Terry McLaurin, of course, and Antonio Gibson. So they're young. They just need to build. I don't think they're going to win too much this year, but they definitely have potential to be a better team in the next few years, I would say, for sure. They've had some good picks, young players, good veterans, but, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Next, we're going to talk about the Ravens and the Texans. The Ravens won 33-16. I thought the Ravens would blow. My prediction was the Ravens were going to blow out the Texans. Texans, I think, are going to struggle because they don't have weapons on them, really. Deshaun Watson, though, he's insane. He's a top 5 quarterback, and it shows when he's breaking so many tackles and trying to make plays and being a true improviser. He doesn't have anyone to throw it to, so it kind of sucks. He's insane. Another thing that's insane is that Baltimore Ravens defense, they are stacked. Marcus Peters got a pick too, which is pretty cool for them. But yeah, they're just really good. But on the other side of the ball, their defense, J.J. Watt had a good game. I think he had a sack or two. J.J. Watt for sure still a top player in the league, top pass rusher. But for the Ravens also, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards look really good. They looked really awesome. They have a lot of weapons on that team. Oh, I remember now, the Wildcat with Mark Ingram on 4th and 1. That was a badass play. I really liked that play. That was a cool call. Next, we're going to talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs game. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I don't know how people knew that the Chargers, there was a lot of people telling me that the Chargers would win. I thought it'd be a blowout. The Chiefs are favorites by 9 points, I'm pretty sure. So for those of you who knew that was going to happen, that it'd be a better game, how? That's my only question. How do you guys know that? So anyways, Herbert from the get-go, from the start, he looked awesome. He can be a beast. He's tall, he's mobile. I love the guy. He's got a nice arm. He did make some rookie mistakes, but dude, this is against the defending Super Bowl champions. If you're a Chargers fan, you're very excited for Herbert. If not, I'm a little confused. But yeah, he made a bad pass, throwing across his body, trying to force it. I think it was double coverage too. He even took a really big hit, which was pretty cool, and he got right back up. That was pretty badass. But yeah, he's a leader. He looked really relaxed in that pocket. But sometimes he would hold on to the ball a little bit too long. But that's typical for rookies. But some good, some bad. I would say mostly good stuff. He made just a few mistakes, that's all. But he can definitely improve. Not only that, he got a good connection with Hunter Henry. You could tell that they were on the same page, which is pretty good. Keenan Allen, another player who balled out for the Chargers. He looked great. Made some awesome catches. And of course, Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly, the 1-2 combo, they looked really good out there too. On the other side of the ball, Tyreek Hill had a few drops, but made up for it with that big play. That play was insane. Mahomes' cannon is ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes, him and Russell Wilson are right there. Russell Wilson is not too far off. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But, dude, just the best. The best, the elite, as good as you can be. But surprisingly, the Chargers, I wouldn't know if it's surprisingly, didn't really watch the Chargers too much last week, but Chargers were getting in there. They were all over Patrick Mahomes. That was pretty interesting to see, so that could cause a lot of other teams problems. Seems like a pretty awesome defense to hold the Chiefs to, what was it? 23? That's nuts. But the Chiefs, man, when they play down, they're so good. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you guys can be so good. Everyone knows that the Chiefs are going to go down and score if they're down. It's just ridiculous. Herbert had some good drives. Looking at my other notes here, got a lot of notes for this game. Also, on a big third down run for Mahomes, I think there was a holding call against the Chiefs that was missed. So that actually could have made a big difference on the game. Oh, and so another note here. How does that guy false start, though, on that first kick? It's a field goal. I was going to say PAT, but it's a field goal. Why are you false starting? I don't know if I could ever say that I've seen that before on a kick. So that was strange. But Butker, man, I made a comment on a Bleacher Report thing that got a few likes, not even that many. But I was just like, big cojones, man. Butker to do that 3 times, that's ridiculous, and that's awesome. Good for Butker. And now at the end of the game, the Chargers had nothing really to hold their head about. They definitely should have kept their head up. That was a tough game. But here's what I thought was really interesting. Anthony Lynn said that if Tyrod Taylor is 100%, that he'd be starting. I'm not sure why, though. That's very, very questionable. Herbert should definitely start from here on out. That was really weird. I want to know what you guys think about that. Next game, another awesome game. New England Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. I had my money on the Seahawks. They barely won. 35-30. It came down to the last play. But going into the game for Seattle, a bad pick 6 for Russell Wilson. The ball was just off the offensive player's hands, right into the defender's hands for a nice touchdown. I forget which receiver it was, but that was pretty killer. But, I mean, it didn't really slow them down too much at the beginning. Chris Carson looked good. He had no fumbles. That was a problem for him last year. He was catching balls too, which is pretty impressive. And DK and Tyler Lockett, they are tough to defend, all right? That's just a really good combo because if you really try to shade one or the other, they're going to get open. It's tough. I don't know how teams are going to defend them in the passing game too much. But, yeah, that's a really good combo. The Pats' offense looked really good. They looked really good for the most part. Cam Newton was slanging that tater, looking great. But, a big but here, there were very questionable third down calls. I made a note here that there are 4 where they had, just weird running plays on, third and short. I wouldn't say third and short. Well, third and 3 or 4. That was very questionable to me. They were just straight up runs, not even RPOs, to get 4 yards. When you have Cam Newton, I don't know. Very questionable to me. That game could have gone differently if they convert on those, of course. Also, a really good catch by N'Keal Harry on an illegal hit as well, which reminds me, I think we should change that rule. I think a good idea would be that it's similar to basketball. You kind of look at the hit, kind of do like a flagrant 1, flagrant 2 type deal. If it's a flagrant 2, you kick them out. If it's 1, it's kind of like a warning, I guess. If they do it again or anything like that, then they're ejected. I feel like that's a good idea. I saw someone talking about that. But But anyways, so the Patriots, I love their QB blast set that they had on the goal line. I was a big fan. It's going to cause a lot of problems. We were watching the game with our friends, and I was explaining, like, yo, this is Cam Newton with 10 blockers. Like, that's going to go in a lot of the time. I really like that. And not only that, their little play action, little like pop pass type deal, that was really cool to see. That was a beautiful fake. Everyone faked me out. I didn't even think about that. Like, that's just a really good call there. Also, Carlos Hyde, one of my favorite players. He looked really good for the Seahawks. The Seahawks, I don't know how much more touches he'll get, if he'll get more or not, but he looked pretty good. And on both sides of the ball, I loved DK versus Gilmore. That was very fun to watch. They even got into a little fight, but DK was unstoppable. Gilmore could not guard him. DK is a freak. I love DK. I have him like in 3 of my 4 fantasy leagues. I love the guy. Let's see. Dude, David Moore probably had the play of the week. I would say that was a play of the week. That was insane what he did. Great play by Russell Wilson to get out. But also, what a freaking catch. Way to get his feet in there. That was an amazing play as a former receiver. That was freaking awesome to watch. Also, the Patriots had an awesome drive at the end of the game. They're right there. A lot of that due to Cam and Julian Edelman. That's going to be a really good connection. I was thinking that Edelman would be like pretty much his safety blanket. Yeah, Edelman and Cam Newton, they're going to terrorize a lot of defenses for sure. Yeah, they had a good drive, but an even better stop at the end. They came back with the QB blast and, hey, blew it up. I would have rather liked to see the Patriots run a play action there, just in case it's not open. Cam could run at the end, but, you know, it is what it is. Next, another very wild game. We have the Falcons and the Cowboys. All right, so Atlanta versus Dallas. So there was pressure on Dak really early. The Cowboys, they played like shit. They played like freaking dog shit. I should just take a break every between and look at the thing. All right, in the Falcons versus the Cowboys. So there's a lot of pressure on Dak really early on in that game due to the backups playing for them. Just not a good game. And then you had fumbles and some stupid fake punts. But then on the other side, the Falcons decide to go for 2 and they don't even need to and they don't get it. Just a really interesting game. But the Falcons look freaking awesome, finding dudes wide open. Hayden Hurst looked good. Calvin Ridley was on fire. But part of that too, Cowboys DBs, that was their problem. Everyone knew that would be a problem this year. They got Diggs, so I think he had a good play or something. I honestly don't remember. But I remember seeing his name. Maybe it was a good play, maybe it wasn't. But their DBs definitely need some improvement because the Falcons were all over them. Falcons have good receivers, I will say that. But they were open a lot, and the tight end got open. So Falcons might be a problem, though, if I'm being honest. So anyways, maybe because of Julio as well. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're shading too much, whatever it is, but they got open. Dude, and there was a huge drop by Julio Jones. Russell Gage threw him a nice ball. It was a good call. It was a crazy call. I liked it. Julio Jones very rarely does that. Drop that. That could have been a very, very, very big difference in the game for them. And then a crazy play from Dak to the escape in the pocket, chucking it up to Amari. That was awesome. Matt Ryan was balling, though, dude. Matt Ryan and the Falcons, they were freaking going off. But on the other side, the Cowboys were also balling out. The Cowboys receivers looked really good. CeeDee Lamb looked really good. He had a nice catch on 3rd and 7. Dalton Schultz looked really good. Who would have thought that? Michael Gallup played good. Both teams were actually playing pretty solid. The defenses couldn't stop the offenses. That's just all it was. Both teams were playing pretty good. It was a good game. Falcons got to win. I mean, they got to convert more when they get turnovers. I don't really know about that. Falcons got to win that game, but, I mean, it looked like they were, doing their best. Cowboys are a good team. And it just showed. With all that happening, the Cowboys are a good team. They just got to, play like the second half all the way at the beginning of the game. But yeah, that's pretty awesome one for Dallas. But for the Falcons, you got to work on the hands team. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that was. They did not go over that, I'm assuming, like in the pregame, whatever. That was just really bad. They're just staring at the ball. If it's less than 10 yards, that's the rule, right? 10 yards. If it's less than 10 yards, and you see the ball rolling, okay, and you can grab it, just grab it. Grab it and get down. What are you... I don't get it. I didn't get why they were just staring at that ball. No one could explain to me why. I'm just assuming they didn't know the rule. Next game, Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Dude, the Packers are on fire right now. Both offenses look good, though. The Lions had a good offense going. It had good offensive drives, but Packers are on fire. Aaron Jones was explosive. Aaron Rodgers looking happy. Didn't expect that this year. Looking happy. Playing great. Aaron Jones balling out. I think he had a pretty crazy catch. There's a nice pick 6 by Sullivan on the Packers. A.J. Dillon looked good. Packers are all over that. Packers are a good team. Next, we have the Rams, the LA Rams versus the Eagles. Rams pull it off. Rams are another team who are looking good. NFC West is the best division in football. But the Eagles, man, I don't know, man. I like the Eagles. I do. But they're playing like dog shit. Like, it's really bad. Miles Sanders started the game with a fumble. It kind of bounced back. He had a good game, I believe. He scored a touchdown. I know that. But on the other side, the Rams, they had some good play calling. Of course, McVay, dude, that's a big part of their offense is just that play calling. It doesn't really matter who they have. He knows how to call plays. The Eagles also were calling good plays, at least at the beginning. I'm not really sure towards the end. But besides the play calling, Jared Goff looked good. Wentz did not. He's not playing like he should be. I honestly don't think he played that bad, but he's not playing like he should be, like people like me expect him to do. But someone that did play good was Malcolm Brown for the Rams. He did really good, especially on fantasy. Darrell Henderson as well. I actually really liked him. Tyler Higbee, did he have 3 touchdowns? Pretty sure he had 3 touchdowns. That's wild. The Rams, their offense, and then just Aaron Donald on defense. Doesn't even matter who else is on the field. Aaron Donald could play by himself. He's going to destroy some people. The Rams they're pretty scary. I'm not going to lie. Next, we have the Denver Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Melvin Gordon actually looked pretty solid. It sucked that Drew Lock got hurt, and it sucked that he got hurt trying to make a play. That's very killer, but they played really good without him. They do need him, but they played very well without him against a good Steelers team. And part of that makes me feel like the Steelers aren't that good. If they're not really pulling away from a team without their starting quarterback, and they're supposed to have a good defense, I don't know. But the offense is good for Pittsburgh. Juju looked good. Claypool looked awesome. On the other side, Jerry Jeudy looked good for the Broncos. When Driscoll went in, though, the pressure on him was ridiculous. He was getting slammed to the ground like every play. They were all over him. That sucked. That sucked to see for Driscoll. Believe he threw a pick because it went off Sutton's hands, so that kind of sucked for him. But Noah Fant for the Broncos, he's awesome. He gets the chef's kiss. Noah Fant is a beast. Also, Big Ben had a ridiculous throw. I want to say, who was that to? Was that to Deontay Johnson? James Washington? One of them, but that was a freaking crazy play. I do remember that. But yeah, for the Steelers, I don't know. Barely winning 26-21, I think. The Broncos? Are they that good? I thought they were pretty good, but that might have to drop them down. A beaten up Broncos team, a young team. You guys got to do better than that, Pittsburgh. Next, we got Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills pull it out 31-28. That Bills offense is nice. Josh Allen, the offense looks great. Stephon Diggs fits very well. They have a very nice connection. Josh Allen had some really awesome runs, and he had a freaking cannon. All right, he had a cannon. He was launching it to John Brown. That was really cool. On the other side, Jaceki, awesome. He's a baller. He had an awesome one-handed catch. That was very sick. One of my favorite plays this weekend. But Diggs and Allen, they did miss a few connections, whether it was a drop or a missed ball. So once they're more consistent there, they're going to be a wild team. And for the Dolphins, they should have kicked when they were down 4 in the third. Don't know why you're going for 2 there. Take your points, be a different game. But the Dolphins were surprisingly driving down on the Bills, so that was pretty impressive. Good bounce back game for Fitzpatrick. I think he had 2 picks last week. But does that mean that the Dolphins are good? Is that what that means? They hung in there with New England. I think the Dolphins might be kind of good. Because I really like the Bills. I think the Bills are really good, but the Dolphins, man, to do that, it's pretty impressive. Let's see. Next, we have Minnesota versus the Colts. Not much to talk about. Vikings suck, okay? And that's just what it is. I can't sugarcoat it. They just suck. But for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor looks awesome. Their defensive line was all over Cousins. Cousins did not play well. I think he had like one good drive. But yeah, the Colts look solid. I don't think the Colts are that good, but they look solid. For the Vikings, though, bright spot, Dalvin Cook, of course. He's just amazing. He's a great running back. I think he scored probably once. Next game, we got the Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another awesome game. Jonnu Smith started off the gate on fire. Had a touchdown at the beginning, the first quarter, first drive. He was awesome. Tannehill looked nice and calm in the pocket. Against a not-so-good Jags defense, but he looked very calm. Made the throws really easy, made the right throws. He looked good. On the other side, Gardner Minshew looked really good. Had a touchdown to Tyler Eifert, I believe, and I did not know he was on the Jags. That's pretty funny. Back to the other side of the ball. Derrick Henry didn't do too well. Why does he run so high? Does everyone else notice that, how high he runs for how big he is? I feel like he could be really good if he knew how to lower his shoulder. Well, he's already really good, but he could probably be the best running back if he knew how to lower his shoulder and catch a ball. Anyways, okay. Why did the Jaguars onside kick? Why did the Jaguars onside kick with 10 seconds in the first half? That was so stupid. You let them freaking go get a field goal off of that. That was really dumb. But something good about the Jacksonville Jaguars is James Robinson. He looked good. Chenault looked good. A lot of their receivers looked really good. Chark looked good. And they have one more, right? Keenan Cole, I believe. Yeah. Just a good game, though. Ended on a crazy tip pick. Good game, though. Next, we got the Panthers and the Buccaneers. I thought the Buccaneers would absolutely demolish the Panthers. Panthers held their own for a little bit. But, Teddy had 2 really bad turnovers. He had a pick and a fumble, 3 turnovers total. Can't have that. All by himself, he had 3 turnovers. You can't do that. I thought this would be a blowout, though, because the Buccaneers and Tom Brady were dominating in the first half. But then they had 2 turnovers, which kind of shifted the game a little bit. Some plays where Tom and the receivers were on the same page, still trying to get things clicking there. But Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette look good for the Buccaneers. Next, we have the Giants and the Bears. So that was a game I thought Saquon was going to go crazy. I thought the Giants were going to win just because of Saquon having a revenge type game. But Mitch Trubisky looked solid for the Bears. He did look solid. He didn't look like trash like a lot of people think, but he looked good. Saquon even looked good until he got hurt. It looked like he was going to have that crazy game. But the Bears were all over Danny Dimes. They were all over him. He had 2 turnovers, I think. David Montgomery looked good for the Bears. Mitch had a crazy throw for a touchdown. That was really impressive. Dude, the lineman first down. That was nuts. A lineman got a first down on 4th. That was sick. And the Giants, they fought. They had a really good final drive without Saquon Barkley, without their best player. I like Daniel Jones a lot. They very easily could have won that game. But, they came up short. It was a good game. Next, my 49ers versus the New York Jets. Raheem Mostert is a beast. Hoping he recovers fast. I don't even know what happened to him. That was weird. I had no clue what happened to him. Yeah, that was strange. That was very, very strange. Jimmy G got hit in the leg really early. That was a missed call. Did not like that. I think that's when he got hurt. That was dumb. But Sam Darnold on the other side, talking about quarterbacks, he's solid. He's not the problem. Not at all. It's their team. It's their coach. Sam Darnold did very well. Got a few third downs. Made just smart passes. Also, Frank Gore is not human. Not at all. Don't know how he's still out there doing what he does, looking exactly the same. It's pretty incredible. Jordan Reed balled out. That was really cool. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Jimmy G had an awesome first half. I think, according to Pro Football Focus, he was the top graded quarterback. He only played a half, but he was like a 90. So that was pretty good. When we put in the backup, I'm not sure we tried to pass out of the gate. I feel like we should have ran the ball a lot more. But hey, maybe just trying to get the young guy ready if he has to play next week, because I don't think they know. Yeah, they didn't really know if he was going to have to play next week or how long Jimmy would be out. But I do expect us to run the ball a lot. Chris Hogan, actually, on the other side, looked really well, too. Or played really well. I like Chris Hogan a lot. Now, last night, the Las Vegas Raiders, first home game versus the New Orleans Saints. The Saints should have blown them out, right? A lot of people thought. In the first half, the Saints looked really good until the pick. And then the Raiders get a field goal. I mean, they looked really good on both sides. Raiders had good drives as well. I think like their third drive was really good. That's when they went and scored. But then the second half, it just switched. Saints D looked horrible, especially their DBs. Raiders offense looked really good, especially Darren Waller, who we'll talk about in just a second. But Josh Jacobs was running hard. Jalen Richard was running really hard. It was crazy. It was crazy to see that. And Darren Waller, nobody could cover Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller is really good. But is he that good? I'd probably say not. They made him look like prime Gronk, unguardable Gronk, double team Gronk. Malcolm Jenkins did have a good play where he was covering him. I don't know why they didn't have him cover him more, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to talk about the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter of that game. The Saints are down 24-17. The Raiders get a 4th and 1. All right. Saints just have to stop them. They don't. They get it. All right. Whatever. All right. And I think on a third or a fourth down, they get that pitch play, right? Turnover. The Saints have the ball. Go down. They're going to go win the game, right? No score. Next drive, they allowed a 3rd and 8. Okay. Or they're on a 3rd and 8. Allow first down on that. And then later on, same drive. 3rd and 10. It's their chance. It's the Saints' chance to get that ball. They let Jalen Richard score on a pitch. How? On a 3rd and 10? Wild. So the Saints defense blew that game. Not only that, Drew Brees, second half, did not want to throw the ball not over the middle, but intermediate routes, deep routes, all checkdowns. Holy checkdowns. It was crazy. It was nuts. I had money on them too, so that's why I'm a little upset. That was bad. But eventually they get the ball. They score, right? They score. But Janoris Jenkins blows it. Before that, I was telling my parents, I was like, hey, this 20 guy, I saw a play where he didn't have his outside contained like he was supposed to. I was like, yo, look at this. This is horrible effort. This guy's not good. I'm sure he's a good person. Janoris, if you somehow are watching this, I'm sure you're a good person. But dude, there's so many times where I see the effort. It's not there. I'm surprised he's still in the league. At the end of the game, they screen with no timeouts. Dumb. Or the Saints. The Saints are supposed to drive down and try to score fast. They're trying to throw screens, short stuff. They gave up. That was tough. So those are my reactions for this week, for week 2. All right, excited for week 3. A lot of really good games I've seen. So I'll do another video soon with those predictions. All right, peace out.